Hey y'all, it's Hans. This is the Late Night Vision Show, y'all. We've got another show for you again this Thursday, whenever you're watching it, whether it be the day that it comes out, the next week, or maybe even 6 months from now, y'all. We get phone calls from people that see the shows and are like, hey, I just saw this new scope came out, and we're like, oh man, I hate to tell you, that's been out for like a year now. But no, thank you for calling. Hey, the giggling voice in the background is the owner of Outdoor Legacy, Mr. Jason Robertson. How's it going, man?
Man, it's going good. And it is
Trucking
funny
through
you
these
say that.
reviews, aren't we?
It's true, man. We,
Yeah.
we are. And I just got to go back to what you said. I do feel really, really bad sometimes when people call. And I mean, again, don't be embarrassed if it happens to you. It's no big deal because sometimes you really got to look for those dates on the reviews. And I get it. People
Yeah.
don't see it. But I'll have people call about stuff that's been discontinued for 2 years. And it's like, yeah, I hate to
I
break it
know.
to you, but no, I mean it's all good. I get it. There's a lot of videos out there, and hey, we just appreciate you
I'm
watching and giving us a call.
on camera right now for all y'all listening in the car. I'm showing all the optics that we're reviewing in one show. Look at all this. We're
Oh
reviewing
my gosh.
all three of these optics together in this one show. Now, this is the brand new. This is brand new, and it
Yep.
is the middle of August, or almost the middle of August, 2024. This is the AGM Seeker. There's three different models. These things are the replacement for the Taipans. Super popular. There's three models: the TM15, TM19, TM25. People all the time want to know what the differences is. You know, is it right for their situation? Is it going to be better than Taipan? We're going to answer all these questions, tell you exactly how it performs, and show you videos. But first, my buddy Jason is going to tell you where the heck you can order these things, right?
Exactly. And Hans gets so confused on his dates that I think it's closer to the end of August, but that's okay. So I
Eh,
was talking about dates
let me
before
look at my
here, and
watch.
he
You're
doesn't even
probably
look at it.
right.
Yeah, exactly. He's not looking at a calendar.
I know.
All right, guys, listen, man. We're really glad that you tuned into this show. We hope that you like what you see here, and we would love to have your business at Outdoor Legacy. If you watch this show or any of our shows and you're interested in a night vision or thermal optic, and maybe you have no idea where to start, or maybe you've got it narrowed down to one or two and you just need some help, you got questions, we are glad to help and get you off a high center. If you want to purchase your optic from Outdoor Legacy, not only would we appreciate your business, we would really love to have it, but part of that is it gets you our customer service. We're happy to, before you buy, walk you through all the options, answer your questions. Then once you make the purchase, we're glad to help you with anything you need after that as well, and make sure that you've got the optic zeroed up and running and it's doing everything you need it to do. So, guys, again, if you want to make your purchase from Outdoor Legacy, Hans and I and the ladies in the office would love to have that business. So you can call us first at 877-350-1818. If you already know what you want to place an order, you can call that same number. The ladies are happy to take an order over the phone. They do it all day long. But you can also go to the website, outdoorlegacygear.com. Hans will put that on the screen. Important thing I want to say, I want to start really pounding this in because it is important. If you purchase an optic from us that is in stock, if our website shows it, if you talk to the ladies and it's in stock, it will ship the same business day if you order it before noon Texas time. If you order it after noon Texas time, it'll ship the next business day. And so we get this stuff pushed right out of our warehouse. We use almost exclusively UPS. Every once in a while, FedEx if UPS is already picked up. But we're not gonna ship your scope via the mail or anything like that. So we want to get it to you safe and sound. And again, you know where to reach us, guys. We got a lot to talk about today because we're doing something that don't try this at home, and that is reviewing three optics in one. It's probably a really, really bad idea, but Hans and I are full of bad ideas, so we're gonna go for it today.
It's, if there's ever a show that made sense doing all three at one time, it's got to be this show.
It is.
Yes, there are some differences, but there's a lot of similarities between these three optics. Now, Jason is always going to run down the specs. He'll probably mention there what the differences are. I'll show you what the differences are just by holding it up and showing you. Many of y'all remember the Taipan's very popular monocular that's been around for a while from AGM. Not just well known for the quality of the optic, but also a great bargain, what we would
Mm,
consider more of a budget friendly or more towards the entry level for most of you night hunters out there. And, these, when they talked about redoing it or basically coming out with a different version of it, it was like, man, okay. They were so sold on, how, we hadn't talked about this, but, they didn't name this like the Taipan version 2. They went with a completely different name. So, maybe to set it apart completely from the Taipans. But let's run down the specs real quick, Jason, and then I'll kind of show this a little bit.
The first thing I want to do before we get into the specs, Hans, I want to mix it up. We normally do the specs first. I want to go ahead and I want to answer some questions that are going to get asked. I want to do this on the front end because I know there's a lot of people watching this that probably already own a Taipan. Yeah. And they're going to, what's the difference? What is the difference in the Taipan and the Seeker? And then the secondary question is it worth the upgrade? So I think the first, I'm going to run down real quick. Basically, Hans has already held it up. He's shown them. If you know what a Taipan looks like, this is extremely similar design. It's been updated, modernized just a little bit. But here's the big difference. The number one difference is that the Seekers use an 18650 fully removable rechargeable battery, whereas the Taipans use an internal non-removable rechargeable battery. And while I know that doesn't bother everybody, doesn't really bother Hans and I, there are some people who are very concerned about internal batteries, and they don't like the fact that it doesn't have any other battery options the Taipans don't, besides plugging it into a USB battery pack, but no more.
Yeah, that was the biggest negative, Jason. When people called up about the Taipans, they're like, "Oh man, I love the price. I like what I've seen on the picture image. Yep. I just don't like that internal non-removable battery." And then it got into the questions, well, what do I do if it goes out? And yeah, there's just big concern. That was the number one negative from the beginning about the Taipans.
Yep. Well, no more. There is no internal battery in the Seeker. Again, fully removable, 18650. And the optic comes with two 18650s and a charger. So really, that's your big change. Right. Your second change, which is very, very subtle. We're going to talk a little bit more about this, but the resolution is the same, 384 by 288, but the sensor NETD rating, the sensitivity, went from a 35 millikelvin down to a more sensitive sub 20 millikelvin in the Seeker. So it got a little bit better. The sensor did. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just tell you, image quality wise, very, very little difference. So I would not say that that's just this huge upgrade. I will tell you, for some people, where this is going to be a little bit of a negative. And it's a very specific group of people, but they're big AGM users, and this is becoming an issue. We'll do a whole nother show about this again later, but this is your coon hunters. Sometimes your squirrel hunters, but it's mostly coon hunters. They're wanting to use these to look up into trees and find coons. Well, when you're looking up into that tree, you've got that very hot sky and atmosphere up there, even at night. And so what happens is it blows out the top of the tree. You can't see all the limbs and the coons and everything that's up there because the sky is so bright. Well, when we go down in these NETD ratings, it makes that problem worse. So again, for the average guy who's hunting hogs or coyotes or coons on the ground or any type of normal wildlife viewing, that's not an issue. But if you're looking straight up into a tree in the sky, more sensitive is actually not better, which is kind of strange, but it's the way that it is. So that's just something to, if you go, I don't know what he's talking about, I'm not a coon hunter, ignore everything I just said. It doesn't matter to you. There's a couple more small changes. It's got a tilt sensor in it. Hans and I are going to explain that more. It's a cool feature. Really, really like that. It's got audio recording, but your big takeaway at the end of the day is going to be your 18650 battery. That's the difference. So Hans, without just beating this in, before we even get to the specs and all, I want to ask you, what do you say? We're already getting these calls. These Seekers are in stock. We're selling them. What do you say when a guy says, hey, man, I've got a Taipan, TM15-19, and we're talking about the 384 models, all right, guys? So there's some 256 resolution units. Those have not changed. These are the 384s. So a guy's got one of those, and he says, I got a 19, a Taipan TM19. Do I need to sell that? And should I buy the Seeker TM19? Whatever. insert model? What would you say?
That's a great question. What I would say, and this is going to end the entire review right here after this statement. So this is very,
Great. End it short. Let's go.
I hate making definitive statements, but so if you own the Taipan right now, whether it be the 15, the 19, 25, if you own it and you like it and it does right for you and there's nothing wrong with it, then I cannot see any reason that you need to upgrade other than if you want something with a removable 18650 battery, which is a great feature. I mean, you can have, one or two spare batteries. If you get buy another, you can buy 18650s anywhere. They're rechargeable. They're very inexpensive. You can have a whole pocket full of them. So if you have the Taipan and you're like, man, I like it, but the battery, I got to take it and charge it. I can't use it. Well, it's all this. Then yes, it's worth the upgrade. But if you think, don't buy the Seeker thinking you're going to get a big picture image quality boost out of it. Right. So if you own the 256 and you're like, man, is it worth going to the Seeker? Absolutely. 384 resolution is going to be a big upgrade from what you have already. If you don't own a monocular and you found a place that has an old Taipan and you have an opportunity to buy a new Seeker from Outdoor Legacy, I would choose the Seeker because of the battery system. I would definitely choose the newer model with the improved battery system. The battery system, if you're, it does have a better NETD rating, but as far as how that's helping the picture image, I don't think it's doing a whole heck of a lot in normal conditions. But yeah, I mean, if you have a Taipan, you like it, there's nothing wrong with it. You still like it just as much as you did on day one, keep it. If you got a Taipan and you wish you had more battery options with it, then the Seeker is a good upgrade.
Yeah, and if you're getting towards the end of your warranty, there's a lot of guys that play the warranty game. They say, hey, I don't want to have an optic out of warranty. I want to get something in warranty. They want to, sell that off. Maybe you got a Taipan. So when the Taipans first came out, they only had a 3-year warranty. During that time, AGM changed to a 5-year warranty starting in January of 2023.
So yes, it was 2023 is when they started the 5-year warranty.
So everything before that had a 3-year warranty. So there's a lot of guys that are getting to the end of their warranty. Yep. Now they're all 5 years.
Yeah, and that was only 384 and 640 when they first started it, right? It was just 384 and 640.
That's correct. That's right. All right, guys. So there's our short answer to that. That really may end this review for a lot of you, and I think that's perfectly fine, though. I mean, I don't want a guy to have to watch 45 minutes of us going back and forth to find out that at the end, no, I don't.
Turn off the video here and call Outdoor Legacy and talk to me or Jason. It's you to save you about I don't know 30 more minutes.
That's exactly right. You'll thank us later. All right, so here we go. We're going to jump into these specs. Listen, guys. 3 models, they're almost all the same specs. I'm going to tell you when the specs are different, but otherwise, just know the specs are the same as we go down the list. So let's start with this. The TM15 Seeker, the Seeker TM15-384, it is $1,195, and it is a 1.5 power base magnification, and it is a fixed focus. You cannot focus the objective lens. Hans and I are going to talk about that in just a little bit down here and tell you what that really means, but you can't focus the lens. You go up to the TM19-384. It is a 2-power base magnification, and it is $1,395, $1,395. Again, it's focusable. Next, we go to the TM25-384. It too is focusable. It is a 2.5 power base magnification or optical magnification, and it's $1,595. So just again, 15 is 1.5 power, $1,195. The 19 is 2 power, $1,395. The 25 is 2.5 power, $1,595. Now, rolling into these specs, they are each a 384 by 288 resolution, 12 microns. As we mentioned, a sub 20 NETD millikelvin rating. They're a 50 hertz refresh rate. They have got the lens size is a 15 millimeter, 19 millimeter, and 25 millimeter, hence the name. Field of view on the 15 is 92 foot horizontally at 100 yards, which is insanely wide. Then the 19 is 72.5 foot horizontal at 100 yards, and the 25 is still a 55-foot horizontal field of view. I've already mentioned the magnifications. Each one of them have digital zoom up to 8x the base, or 8 times the base magnification optically. Display screen is 1024 by 768 OLED display on each of them. Now, they're saying the detection range, this is not an identification range. Hans and I, we can talk about that now, but they're saying, let's start with the 15. They're saying the 15 has a detection range of about 780 meters. Again, that would be detecting something probably the size of a human standing up out there. What would you say the ID range is on the 1.5 power fixed focus 15, a hog, coyote? What are you going to say?
Just somewhere around 200 yards is what I would say. I mean, it's a
a
low base magnification.
2 to 220. Yeah, 2 to 225, 250 in really good conditions. I agree. The 19 AGM says has a 960 meter detection range. Hans, I'm going to say 250, 270.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I'd add on about 100 yards, maybe of ID range advantage over the TM15.
So maybe 300?
Yeah, I mean, maybe close to 300. Yeah, that's usually what we're telling people. Yeah. I mean, depending on the animal, 200 to 300 yards, 200 yards in bad weather, 300 yards in good weather is what people, I've been telling people on the phone. Yeah.
Yeah, and on the 25, it's a 1,200 meter detection range. I'm going to say that same thing. I'm going to say it's going to trend a little bit on the higher end. You do have more magnification. So I think where that's going to help you is when you're really hard pressed, maybe at the max limitations on a 19 at that, whatever that distance is for you that night in that condition, whether it's tall grass or whatever. It could be like, gosh, is that a hog with, its head down? Is that a deer with its head down? Which is that? I think you're going to get a little more magnification out of that 25 that's going to help you maybe split the difference and make that determination. So about the same. Next, moving on, is they all have black hot, white hot, red hot, and fusion color palettes. They all have picture-in-picture. They all Wi-Fi streaming to your smartphone app. They have a standby mode. Tilt sensor, we're going to talk about that. Let's just wait and do that in our likes. Video and audio recording. Again, as we mentioned, 18650 fully removable, rechargeable battery. It does come with 2 batteries and a charger. AGM says you're going to get about 6.5 hours of runtime. We're going to say a little bit less than that. We're probably going to say in that 5 to 5.5 hours. Anywhere in there is really good for a single 18650, and you got 2 of them. And like Hans already said, $20, $25 for some really good ones. So, you can not spend much at all and have a pocket full of them. So really, the battery life is really good for that 18650. Also, it will take a USB-C external power, so you can run it that way off of external power. They're rated for down to negative 22 degrees Fahrenheit. They're an IPS 6.7 rating. That is fully waterproof, submersible to 3 foot for 30 minutes. Basic dimensions, I'm just going to average this because they're all almost identical. There's like 0.1 difference or something on the 15. 6 3/4 inches by 2.5 by 2.2. That gives you an idea. Less than 7 inches long and less than 2.5 inches around. They weigh about 13 ounces a piece. And as we've already mentioned, they do have the 5-year AGM warranty on the optic itself, bumper to bumper, and that is really nice. Hans, give me a
here we go. These are the 3 different. I'm going to start with the TM15. This is the TM15-384. So the big difference, I'm going to hold up another one. The big difference between this and like the TM19, which is what I got in my hand right now, you can see is the focus adjustment right here by the objective lens. So this is non-focusable. It does not have the focus ring around it, just a straight, they say it's fixed or focused to infinity. It does have an eyepiece to optofocus. All of them do. You got your battery door. I kind of showed that earlier where you put your 18650 batteries in. 4-button layout on top, ambidextrous design, small and compact, does come. Each one of them comes with a hand strap, I guess you would call it. Is that what you call that? Is that a hand strap, or is that just a? I don't know. Yeah,
That's not a hand
like
strap.
a
That is a
wrist
strap.
Okay, yeah, wrist strap.
Wrist strap.
Right here on the TM19 focusable objective lens, you see your focus ring right here by the objective lens. Again, everything else looks very similar. I mean, these are small, Jason. These are very small and compact, very lightweight.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, not much bigger than the palm of your hand. Easy to put in a pocket, in a jacket pocket, in a backpack. Just very concealable if it's something that you need to feel like you need to conceal. But they all do have the tripod jacks on the bottom, so you can set it up on the tripod. Here's the 25. I mean, really, when you're looking at it like this, the only way I could tell what it was, I had to look at the sticker on the inside of on the underneath it to tell what it was, because they look so similar. But you got your USB-C input on the bottom. That's for downloading the videos off of the optic itself onto a computer. You do have to charge it, the 18650, on the stand though, just so everybody knows. It's not going to. You have to. I mean, it's not going to charge. Yeah, it's not going to charge by directly plugging the USB into the optic itself. You got to take it off, the 18650 off and charge on the cradle. That's about it. Very, very small, compact.
Okay. Yeah, I know this is, people are going to go, oh my gosh. You're going to go, oh my gosh. I tell people that they're about the size of a toilet paper tube. And they really are. Yeah. I mean, if you look at them, they're about that size. And I know you're going to, I can't believe you just said that, but that's really what everybody knows what that size is. So they're very small, compact. Hans, let's talk about our dislikes. We like to do this. There's only a few small dislikes on here. I know we were talking about a couple of them. We kind of had to dig here.
I did. I'll start out with that. The eye cup on it is, it's not hard plastic. It's rubber-ish, but there's not a firm rubber. There you go. There's not a lot of give to it. I mean, hold it up to your eye. I'm doing it now. This is making for great TV if you're watching. It's okay. It's not the worst I've ever seen. I think there's.
Wow, that was the biggest.
It's not the best I've seen. It's not the worst I've seen. It's not that it's uncomfortable, but it does kind of press into the side of your nose a little bit. I mean, so it doesn't have a lot of give to it. Not the best, but it's okay.
I have to be honest with you. I'm normally the ones who pulls out these little bitty things. Hans mentioned this, and I literally had to say, well, hang on.
So I know that. I mean,
so I'm normally this guy, but this time
you didn't like the AGM Sidewinder eyepiece because that is like a hard plastic. This is not that bad. There's a little bit more give than the Sidewinders, but it's still firmer than other eyepieces out there on the market. So there's my little.
And what's so funny is I talked about that a lot on the Sidewinder. We've sold a mountain.
I know, isn't that right? We're so petty.
Okay, I know we are, but hey, this is what we do here. All right, guys, we're not here just to sing praises. We're going to find the things that are small, but maybe we think they could be improved. A couple more. I'm always going to bring this up. If you ever watch our show and we talk about handhelds, I'm going to talk about a padded hand strap. That is not the little wrist strap. I mean a strap that goes from the front to the back like an old camcorder had. I think that every handheld needs one of those, at least optionally. This optic doesn't have it. They're very small. They're lightweight. I think they're so small and lightweight, I might forgive them for not having it because it is easy to put in your pocket, to stick in a hoodie, to do whatever, to hold it, even on your wrist. Yeah. I like a hand strap. If you're going to use it all night, I think it's nice to have. Minor detail. Other thing I noticed, and this may be something that changes. It may not be this way on all of them. Again, Hans and I have had these since before they were released, so maybe it has something to do with that. But we noticed that the battery compartment door, there's a little latch on it, and it just wasn't as stiff as I would like it to be. I will say that I don't think the battery door is going to fall open, and I don't think your battery is going to come out, because to get the battery to come out, it's on a spring. So you actually have to press in and kind of pry it out. I mean, the battery's not going to fall out of it, but I just felt like the little door latch. I noticed it, and I thought there was something wrong with it. I picked up another when it was that way. All three of the units that I had were that way. I think Hans has had that issue. again, I say
Yeah,
issue. We just noticed it. It's kind of
this
strange.
it will not come off in your pocket or anything. I don't think. I haven't had that happen to me, but it's almost when you move the lever down to unlock it, there's more tension on that action than when you actually lock it and move it up. So you would think when you're locking the lever into place that there'd be more tension and more tight, but it's actually less tension than when you're unlocked. Yes, you're always like, oh,
Yeah.
is it secure? Is it locked in there? It seems really loose. Yours is not defective. That's just the way they are. And it's not, you don't have to worry about it. It's not going to come off or anything, or I don't think the door is going to bust open or anything, but yeah,
And
they're all like
no, I
that.
don't either. I never
Yeah.
had any issue with
Yeah.
it. I just noticed it. So, all right, let's move on from that. Now let's talk about the
Yeah.
positives, which there's a lot here. And I tell you what, we're going to beat this dead horse, but it's an 18650 battery. Guys, I know there's a lot of y'all that are like, quit talking about the batteries. It's a big deal. A non proprietary battery that gets really good runtime, that is really affordable. It's exciting. It's fully removable.
Mm-hmm.
We love that. We're not done talking about it in this review. I think it's the biggest and best thing they could have done. And I had a guy ask me, he said, okay, I've already got a Taipan. He was asking these questions. Is it worth upgrading? And he said, do you think that AGM made a mistake by upgrading and not doing more to the unit? And I said, absolutely not. I think the 18650 alone is worth the upgrade. Guys, I want to make another point here that we didn't even bring up, but the pricing on these units is the same pricing that AGM had dropped the Taipans to in their last, I don't know what, year of
Yeah.
life, let's
Yeah.
say, maybe
For a
less
while.
than a
Yeah.
year. So 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 yeah, so it's the dropped price of the Taipans. They did not go up. These are cheaper than the Taipans were when we were selling those 2 years ago. So
Mm-hmm.
really good pricing. And so I love the price, love the
Right.
18650. There's a couple more things. One, I want to talk about this tilt sensor. This is kind of cool. So this is not a proximity sensor. A proximity sensor is like what I've got on my iPhone over here, where when it's on and I
Right.
put it up to my face, the screen goes off because it senses that
Right.
it's by my face. What this is a tilt sensor. And you can turn this off, I'm pretty sure, in the menu, Hans. But it's cool and I like it. What it is that if you're looking, everything's great. But if you've got this hanging on a lanyard or you set it down so that,
All
Hans,
right.
show them what I'm talking about.
Yes. Yeah. So if you're holding it up, think about your motion whenever you're holding or using binocular. You got it right here by your eye, and then let's say you hang it. If you have it on a lanyard, you hang it around your neck, or you point it down towards the ground. Once you point it completely vertical down with the lens pointed down at your feet or down at the ground, it completely turns off.
The display turns off. The unit itself, it does not turn off. The display turns off.
Yeah. So it's not going to completely shut
Instantly.
down and reboot. Yeah. But once you raise it back up, the screen comes back on. So yeah. Yeah. So it's very responsive. It happens very quick. There's not a delay in it. It doesn't take, once you raise it back up to your face, the screen comes back on, and it's immediate. There's no lag or waiting. I mean, it's very,
You might not even notice.
yeah. Yeah. But yeah.
It's cool. So what I like about that is two things. One, if you are wearing on a lanyard, which a lot of guys like to do, got it around your neck. Now you don't have that display screen lighting up your chin and your face. As soon as you put it down, again, the screen goes off. Pull it up, it is instant. I did not notice it was there until having used it a couple times. I was like, oh, wait a minute, this is off. No, it's on. So it's really cool. You're saving some battery life there. Again, you're not having the thing putting a light on you. The negative of that is that you can lay it down or set it down like that on its, on the lens side and think that it's off. I mean, there's definitely some people that are going to set it down somewhere and think that it's off, and it's not. So it could run your battery down. But again, you would have to set it down vertically, not horizontally. Just real quick, getting through these likes. Size, we already talked about that. Weight, mean, very lightweight, coming in at around 13 ounces, I said in the specs. And then I like the feel. The texture is a kind of a soft rubberized, kind of a grip feeling on it. I really like that. Hans, I kind of went over all these. Anything you want to add to that list?
No, I mean, I think you hit all of them. You know, we've talked about it at length with the new battery system on it. I think whenever a company comes out with a new model, people obviously want to know what the differences are. Is it worth the upgrade? We kind of hit on that at the beginning of the show. But at the end of the day, I think the important takeaways here from AGM's standpoint and from us as a dealer selling these products, this is an upgrade on the previous models. It's for sure it is functionality wise. The picture image, we can sit here and talk about, is it better picture image? Is it worth a picture image difference that you need to sell what you got and get another one? We can sit here and talk about that all day long. But at the end of the day, this is an upgrade. It shows that AGM is listening to their customers again, because the biggest negative that we talked about was the 18650 or the internal battery and not an 18650 system like they came out with the Sidewinder. So they did it. They did exactly what the customers wanted. That was really the only complaint that we had about it before. I mean, not much of any substance. And so they fixed it. So kudos to them. I mean, again, they are, and I think we've talked about this a lot, AGM takes a lot of the consumer feedback and they put that into action. And they have proven that time and time again. So
I agree. I think that the last thing I want to talk about is I think Hans gave a good overview of the unit, but I want to say, who's this good for? Because we get this question a lot. Guys call and they say, okay, I don't know which model that I need. And I would still tell you, if you don't know and you're unsure, again, you want to buy it from us, call us. We're happy to help you figure out which model it is. I'm going to give my opinions. Hans and I've not talked about this before the show, so we'll see. He may have some little different stipulations, but what I would say is the first reason to look at the TM15 is because of price. If you really, really, really are like, it's $11.95, $200 more is a lot of money to me. I don't want to spend. I'd rather spend $12. I don't want to spend $1,400. Okay, then all right, I get it. Look at that model. I would say if you're in brush, woods, thick stuff, I would go with the TM15. Lower magnification, wider field of view. The question becomes, what is the real world application? Or what am I going to see from this fixed focus, no objective lens focus, as compared to the 19 and 25? Guys, I use this on the phone with customers, and I'm going to tell you before I say it, it's going to sound like a infomercial or a used car salesman, but stick with me, it's not. So this is what I'm going to say. Having that non-focusable lens is going to make it less sharp, but not blurry. And you go, well, wait a minute, isn't less sharp equal blurry? No, it does not. It's not blurry. If I hand you this 15, you look through it, you're going, looks great, looks fine. What you don't know is what you're missing when you put the 19 up there and you just take that focus on the lens and just go just a little, you go, ooh, they got a little clear. Okay. You're not going to look at the 15 and go, everything's blurry. It is not. It is focused to infinity, but you're just not getting to tweak it and get it a little bit sharper with the 19. So I think that's where the 19 is going to give you that little better identification range. So I'll try to put a wrap on that. Very close range stuff, again, in the woods, in the brush, maybe deer hunting in the woods, trailing, looking for dead deer, that kind of thing. I would go with the 15. The image quality is not going to be an issue. You want wide field of view, low base mag. Other reason is if the $200 is really more than you can stomach. Next, if the $200 is not the deal breaker for you and you're going to be hunting in normal fields, absolutely go to the 19. I think the 19 is the value for the dollar here. It's always been the most popular, even in the older models. A 2-power base mag is a great magnification for scanning, That is actually Hans and I both. I'm going to speak for him because I know it's true. It's our favorite magnification for scanning in fields. I think it's the most versatile. I like the field of view and the little bit lower base mag, but it's still more than a 1.5. So we really do like that. I think the time to go to the 25 to get the 2.5 power is maybe for your really big fields, your coyote hunters looking a long ways out there, maybe guys that are out in the mountains, maybe you're doing some spotting and stuff for elk and mule deer, looking a long ways. Obviously, if all you're doing is really long range stuff, then I think I would go with the higher base mag. But for the average guy, I would say that the 19 is the value for the dollar. And then what I would do is I would seesaw off of that. If you go, I don't know, I may want a little less, go to the 15. If you go, I want a little more, go to the 25. Hans, what do you
say? The 19, the the TM19 is the more popular of the three models, just for what you said. 2 power base magnification is what most people want to be for a scanner. Nice wide field of view. Obviously, the TM19 is focusable, which gives it the advantage over the the 15. And you have a wider field of view versus the TM25. So, I think I think your assessment is correct on that. I think that the the TM19 definitely is the more favorite model of the three. Yep.
Yeah. Well, guys, listen, 3 units crammed all into one show. I hope we did them all justice. They're awesome. They're great. They're gonna take the place, and I think be more popular than the already popular Taipans were. Mm-hmm. I think the Seekers are a great upgrade. We love what AGM is doing. I think if you're looking for a thermal handheld and you're on a budget and you don't want to go up to something like the Sidewinders, which are fantastic, but you're going to spend another $400 or $500 or more getting into those models. And I'll just real quickly, we're not going to do a whole review of the Sidewinders, but a guy asked me the other day, well, what's the real difference? Sidewinders not only are larger, they're of what I call a full size. They're going to use an 18650 battery as well, but you're getting a better image quality. Right. So if image is all you care about and the Sidewinders are in your budget, that's where I would look at. I think AGM's done a very good job with those. If you're looking for lower price or more compact, then I think you want to go down to the Seekers, and that is really how I would make that decision right off the bat. Budget and size, Seeker. Don't really care that it's a little bit larger and it costs more, then go on to the Sidewinder. Couldn't think of the name. Sidewinder. Yeah. All right, guys. Hey, listen, hope you enjoyed this review. As we've already told you, if you're interested, we'd love to have your business at Outdoor Legacy. 877-350-1818 or Outdoor Legacy Gear, Gear, gear.com. Love to have you there. And you can find us on all the social medias, Facebook and YouTube and Instagram. Same thing with the Late Night Vision Show. We're on all the socials. You can always go to thelatenightVisionShow.com. Find all of our past episodes there. If you're looking for Hans does a really good job of doing shorter reviews on a lot of the same optics that we review on here. I don't know, Hans, you're gonna do the
yeah, we're gonna do a short. I did one with the Taipans, all three at the same time. So yeah, it only makes sense. Yeah,
so he'll probably do that. Here's the thing: his reviews are usually 18 to 20 minutes. There's one of him, so he talks the same amount, but you don't have me, so it's even better. You just get him, and shorter review and not my jibber jabbering. So you can find him on HANSETX. That's Hans East Texas on the YouTube channel. And he's always hanging out over on Instagram, Facebook as well, posting hog pictures and videos and reels and shorts and whatever they call all that stuff nowadays. He's posting every bit of it over there, so you can find him there as well.
I appreciate y'all watching. Again, it's been another episode of the Late Night Vision Show. We'll have more shows, more episodes coming up soon. And don't forget to check out our 2-Minute Tuesday, not just talking about what's coming up on this week's show, but also sharing some breaking news. It's a place where we share breaking news, any promotions or sales that the manufacturers are running. So it's always a good source of quick information. So that's 2-Minute Tuesday. It comes out first thing Tuesday morning. We'll see y'all next time right here, the Late Night Vision Show. Y'all take care.